Hey, minimum effort here. This week I've just been playing a lot of different decks. It's 1 week left of the season, and I've just been messing around with a lot of decks, just trying to find something fun for you. I picked up Astral Projection through the Sanctum Sanctorum. I don't think it's a great card, but I do think it does have uses in specific decks. And what I wanted to do was find a deck for you that we could have a very specific use for it. The bad news though is that it's a Hela deck. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is Astral Hela. Yes, this is using the kind of classic Invisible Woman Hela line of you play Invisible Woman by turn 4. In the same lane, you then play Modok on turn 5, and you play Hela in the same lane on turn 6. Obviously, Modok then discards your hand, and Hela brings all those cards back onto the board. Now, the problem with this combo is obviously it's very hard to get all those cards in order to play that combo. What this deck gives you with Astral Projection, with Crystal and with Lockjaw are different ways to hit the combo. It is a little bit reliant on the cards that you can draw, on the cards that you can top deck, but there are other ways to make it happen. I've done about 5-6 takes of this video already, trying my best to explain these combos. I will try again now. This probably won't be the last take, but we'll see if we can get through it. It might be easier to watch the gameplay highlights that we play afterwards, so that you can see these combos for yourself and see how to play them, because that will probably make more sense than me trying to explain them to you now, but I will try. So obviously first way to do it is, like I said, Invisible Woman into Modok into Hela, and let me just check my notes. The next way to do it is Invisible Woman, and then you play Lockjaw into a different lane if you do not see Hela. You then play Modok into Invisible Woman on turn 5, because obviously you're still looking to draw Hela on turn 6. If you don't draw Hela on turn 6, you can activate Lockjaw. Obviously what that then happens is Modok will reveal and discard all the cards in your hand, and then Lockjaw will swap Modok for another card in your deck, which has the chance to be Hela. So you are relying on that action to happen and be on your side when it happens, but it's still a chance to win the game, because if you do hit Hela, you're bringing a lot of power back onto your side of the board, and hopefully that should be enough to win. So it is kind of worth trying to do it. The next way to do it is you play Invisible Woman, and then if you don't have Modok, you play Astral Projection on turn 5 behind the Invisible Woman, because then if you draw Modok on turn 6 and you have Hela in your hand, you play Hela into the Invisible Woman lane as well, because it will then reveal at the end of the game. Astral Projection will reveal first, and that will take the on reveal of Modok, discard the cards in your hand, and then Hela will reveal next to bring them all back for you. And then the last way to do it, this is the one I always get stuck on. So it's Invisible Woman first. If you don't have Hela, you play Modok on turn 5, obviously hoping to draw Hela on turn 6. If you don't see Hela, you then play Crystal into the same lane as the Invisible Woman lane, because Crystal will then draw a card for you, and if it draws Hela, you're then playing Astral Projection, which will take the on reveal of Hela and bring all your cards back. So there are a few different ways to do this. I think I actually got through it this time. We're sticking with it, I'm not doing it anymore. So there are a few different ways to do this combo, but you are still reliant on having Invisible Woman on the board by turn 4. Now, obviously, if you don't have that, chances are you'll need to retreat, unless there are some very specific location advantages that are letting you kind of play your cards out, because the rest of the deck is reliant on this combo. But because we have more chances to hit the combo, it does make it a bit more bearable. So to run through the deck, obviously we have Ebony Maw. Now, Ebony Maw, you can choose to play out, or you can choose to discard it with Modok, because it's the biggest power 1-cost card. So because it's a 1-cost, obviously you have to play it by turn 3. So if you don't really have any cards to play and you have Ebony Maw in your hand, obviously play it into a lane where you can play it, and that you have another lane, more importantly, that you can do your Invisible Woman combo in, so that nothing else is affected by it. So sometimes you might need to wait for turn 3 to see what that third lane is, the third location is, so you know where you can play. So you might want to hold on to Ebony Moor for now, but obviously by turn 2, if you've got 2 good locations, play Ebony Moor in one and you can focus on the other one for your combo. The next card is obviously Lockjaw, because you're looking to get that activation and swap a card for, hopefully, Hela. We have Invisible Woman, obviously key for this deck. We want to play Invisible Woman by turn 4, so you can make the magic happen. Astral Projection, obviously, as we've been through the combos, really useful actually in this deck for kind of having that on reveal ability to kind of help you hit your combo. Crystal to draw a card. Yes, you're drawing a card for your opponent, but obviously you need those cards in your hand because you need to hit this combo, so it's worth playing Crystal. And obviously you want to play Crystal by turn, sometimes by turn 4 if you're looking to draw kind of a specific card, but then like we've said, sometimes you might need to hold on to Crystal for that turn 6 play. But it kind of depends on the cards you can play and kind of your hand space as well. That's why it's sometimes important to play Ebony Moor by turn 3, just to get him onto the board, so you have that space for the other cards that you need. And then we're looking at kind of the power cards, and it's kind of the biggest cards in cost that Modok can discard and Hela can bring back. So it's Crossbones, and the reason it's Crossbones is because you don't have another 1-cost card for like Colored Obsidian that you can play instead. And sometimes you can still play Crossbones if you're winning a location. You can just get Crossbones on the board to kind of free up that hand space. You can also, depending on what you've got in hand, if you're winning the Invisible Woman lane, you can play Crossbones behind it and then still play Modok and Hela behind that as well. And then obviously Modok, yes, you need Modok to discard those cards in your hand. And then it's kind of then looking at what is the biggest 5-cost card that we can play. So in this one we've picked Red Skull because yes, it's 14 power. Yes, it gives your enemy cards extra power as well, but you're kind of then looking at, okay, if it's not Red Skull, what is it? Because you don't want it to be another on reveal card, because if you are looking to play Astral Projection, you don't want another card getting in the way of Hela. So it's then, okay, this is the biggest raw power that has an ongoing effect. Like if it's not Red Skull, you're probably looking at something like Abomination, just because it's a 5/9 that doesn't have an on-reveal ability. You could play Agamotto because it's a 5/10, but then those skill cards that Agamotto plays are getting in the way of your other cards that you want to play. So I think Red Skull is absolutely fine. Like I say, the next step down is Abomination, and that's 5 power. So I think it's worth having Red Skull. Obviously Hela, we need Hela to bring those cards back for you. Also, I really like this variant, very nice. And then the choice is Giganto or Infinite. I've picked Giganto just for those rare occasions where if you do have the ability to play a 6-cost card on turn 6, I think you'd rather be able to play Giganto than not be able to play the Infinite. So we are kind of looking to hit obviously the Hela combo, but sometimes you need Giganto as well. And then obviously Scar is the biggest 7-cost card, and Death is the biggest 8-cost card. It's those unique costs that you're looking to bring back with Hela. This is the deck. Please watch these gameplay highlights, and hopefully it will make more sense than I've explained it to you. But it's another way to play the Hela deck. I'm hoping obviously it doesn't catch on, because people don't seem to like the Hela metas, even though I personally don't mind Hela too much, because it is still relying on, it's hard to hit this combo like we've said, and to make the most of Hela you're still relying on that kind of RNG as well, of where those cards are going to be played on the board. It's not always fortuitous. Like, there is a lot of luck for it for Hela as well. So I don't mind Hela as much as other people, basically, which is why I don't mind showing you this deck. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get more followers. I would love to hit 1,000 followers at some point, just because that makes a bit more money. A bit more money rather than zero money, which is always nice. I would love to have 1,000 subscribers. That would be great, and we're on the way to that now. Please remember to like the video, comment if you play the deck, let me know how good it's been, how bad it's been, and just what you're playing at the moment as well. I just like to know what people are playing, just to make more fun decks. So yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy these gameplay highlights, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers. Okay, so we have Hela and Modok in hand. That's fantastic. Can we get Invisible Woman? So yeah, again, we need to kind of wait and see what our lanes are going to be. Potentially, we could still use this lane. We don't need to play anything yet. Let's just hold off and see what this location is. Wakanda can't see like I'm destroyed. Perfect. So what we are going to do is let's just play Ebony Moore. Or do we just play the Vibranium? Either or, doesn't really matter, because if it's discarded and brought back, that's fine. We can still play Ebony Moore next turn if we need to. Central Park, okay, fine. So we still have space for Invisible Woman and Hela and Modok, so that is what we're going to do. I think we play Ebony Moore just because squirrels now make this a bit tighter for the cards that Hela's bringing back. If they play a big card here, hopefully we can play something bigger than an Ebony Moore to maybe win this lane. So we're going to do this instead. We'll play Ebony Moore here because that's a safe spread of power, and then we'll see what we can get into those other lanes because we are filling middle with Modok and Hela. So then it'll just be hopefully one big card left, and the rest into the right lane. I mean, Crystal draws us a card, but we don't really need to. This is the other thing with Central Parks. It hasn't given us a lot of space to play our cards. We could have played Crossbones, but because we have Death in hand and could still potentially draw a Giganto or Red Skull, and that's more power to maybe go into the left lane, and it's Lockjaw, so it's Hela mid. So we're going to be discarding 4 cards that can come back, but there's only 3 spaces on the board. And yeah, our biggest cards are Crossbones and Death. So we need to see what they play middle, and then what else we can get on the board. So yeah, let's see what we can get. And this is the standard draw of Invisible Woman into Modok into Hela. It's Sebastian Shaw middle, so we're not going to win middle because they're only winning by 6 left, and we have a good chance if we can get the right draw into that lane. It's Death, it's Crossbones, and it's Lockjaw. We win that location by 1, and we actually tied mid against Sebastian Shaw. So yeah, cool. That is the classic combo to play this deck. We didn't get to bring back all the cards that we discarded because of the squirrels, but yeah, obviously cards we didn't draw Astral Projection and Crystal. So obviously Crystal would have been better than Lockjaw, but other than that, they were the cards we wanted. So yeah, cool. That is, yeah, that's the classic way to play this deck. Cool. So we have Invisible Woman and we have Hela, and Crystal and Astral Projection. So this is very good for us to potentially, hopefully, get our Modok out as well. Except that we are playing TVA. Well, that sucks. I mean, they haven't played anything first 2 turns, so that's lucky for us. I think Crystal on turn 3 anyway. If they do turn this location off somehow, that's fine. But actually, just playing, I mean, we won't have anything like the big debris.
Time's up.
Clog doesn't often run a lot of location control. I mean, we think they're going to play Sentry here, right? But then if they play Sentry here, obviously it loses them that lane. So what are they looking to play? We don't have a lot of power. We can only play Lockjaw because Astral Projection will only be Hela. They've snapped. I think we do it anyway. Let's just see. They're probably going to play, yeah, they play middle and win. The Magic. we played Lockjaw. Oh man, they turned it off. They did turn it off. What we do instead is we wait. Because they've played Magic, somehow this works in our favour. Because what we're going to do is pass, but we need this lane free that we can play Hela, because we play Hela on turn 6, which is hidden, and then we play Modok on turn 5. But are we still going to have enough power to win left lane, considering that this is just a Lockjaw? It's not a lot of power, it's Red Hole mid, which is fine. We don't actually mind that, because we can only play Modok into this lane. So we'll win this lane for sure, but we need to see what we've got here. And chances are it could be... do they reveal first? They do. So if it's like a cannonball, it's going to move either Invisible Woman or the Rock. Okay, let's see what they play. It's Doc Ock, that's absolutely fine. And do we have enough power to win? I think we do. So Modok gets rid of those. We have +2 for Lockjaw, and Hela is 6 power, so that ties. And then we need to see, hopefully, we win the tie breaks. They're winning by 11. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. Chunky. That is a chunky tiebreak win. Yeah, obviously we got a bit lucky with what we did there. We shouldn't really have played Lockjaw into that location, but because we didn't know they were going to play Magic to turn this off, we kind of had to do it just to see if we were going to win that TVA game. Yeah, so yeah, we won somehow, but then again, this is a really good example of what power Hela can get on the board with the cards that you discarded. We only had Astral Projection as kind of a low card with obviously no power, but Ebony Maw, Death, Crossbones, Red Skull, that's a lot of power to bring back. And it all went into one lane because that's where it could go. So yeah, we got lucky with that one, but yeah, we will take it. Cool, so we have Invisible Woman in hand, that's great. Warrior Falls, obviously yes, we are not going to play Invisible Woman into Warrior Falls. Valley of the Hands, yeah, potentially fine. We don't need to play anything yet, so let's hold off to see what the third location is. We have drawn Hela, so now we just need to hit Modok, but we do have Astral Projection to maybe help us with that as well. It's Mojo World. Is this Thanos? It's not Thanos, this is just ongoing. Okay. So the good thing about Mojo World is obviously we can have 3 cards hopefully in this lane. Because it's potentially ongoing, and potentially they have Cosmo. Let's play Invisible Woman mid. They haven't played anything. Okay, we need to see what we get now. So we've drawn the Modok, that's fine. Crossbones. I think we need to load up this lane basically, because it then gives us more cards that could potentially go into Mojo World. Or do we hold off thinking we can maybe get more cards in than they can play? Let's hold off. Let's see what it is. It's Doom. Okay, so yeah. That works in our favour because they're not looking to be playing Cosmo or something like that that's going to disrupt us. And it means hopefully we can get enough cards to win here, and then Hela will hopefully put some cards into the left lane. So they're going to be looking to play 1 card obviously with maybe Doom on the last turn. I haven't seen a Doom 2099 deck in a while. They did hit this deck hard. which I was quite happy about. Blue Marvels, this could be an Ultron deck as well, actually. So now we are looking. It's only 13 power. Obviously, yes, they're going to get more Doombots to give these ones power. But yeah, we're going to be discarding obviously Crossbones, Giganto, Red Skull, Death, and Crystal. That's 5 cards that we are bringing back. Yeah, if we can go left and mid, that would be great, because obviously it's not going to be enough cards unless it fills Mojo World somehow. So yeah, if we hadn't drawn Hela, what we could have played is Crystal and Astral Projection to bring, hopefully, Hela into hand. So yeah, we need our cards to go mid and left.
You won't need this anymore.
Or just left, actually. Just left. We win mid absolutely fine. It's Red Skull. Yeah, we need one more yet. Crossbones and Astral Projection. And Crystal Suit comes as well. Did Crystal come? No, okay. Yeah, oh no, because it was a 3 cost, so it's Crystal or Astral Projection. That's why it was one and not the other. Cool. So yeah, 24 and 28 power. Cool, we'll take that. Okay, so we're playing against Dormammu. That's okay. We don't mind that. We do have Invisible Woman and Modok, as well as Lockjaw. Yeah, the good thing about the Dormammu decks is that they're not running anything to kind of counter what we're doing, so we don't mind that. Starbrand Creator doesn't really mean anything to us. Yeah, obviously we've got 2 lanes to play in. Let's play Lockjaw out, because just in case they have something crazy like a Red Guardian or something, not that I think they would, but because hopefully we can not need Lockjaw, we might be able to get away with it. So what we can do this turn is actually, we can just play Invisible Woman here, and we can play Ebony Maw into Kiln. That's absolutely fine, because then it means, okay, they have to play something into this lane, but also we might be getting stuff back with Modok as well. Crystal we can play next lane, next turn to hopefully draw Hela. And we have drawn Hela anyway. What we could also do is, depending on obviously what we draw and what's sitting in our deck, we can still play Lockjaw. It would replace probably... It would replace the Crystal. So let's see what other cards we're going to have in our deck, because Lockjaw replacing the Crystal with a bigger card when we're going to have Modok and Hela as well. That might be something we can do. Oh no, they've won Kiln. Oh, how are we ever going to get over this? So yeah, Modok. So yeah, obviously we don't have a lot of cards still in hand. Obviously Crystal is going to draw more for us. But yeah, what we're going to do is we'll play Hela. So we're going to get Scar, Giganto and Red Skull back on the board. But we can swap Crystal, that's the card, for maybe a Crossbones or a Death. Potentially Astral Projection, that's the... Yeah, that's the other card it could be, but we've got a 66% chance of hitting a good card. So it is Dormammu left lane, and they've got a big null middle, but hopefully we should still have enough power and be bringing stuff back. We've brought Death, that's great. Crystal becomes Crossbones, perfect. Yeah, seems legit. So Scar Gigantor, Red Scar, and Death come back. They come back.
Minions to me.
Do we get Hammock and Chips? No, we don't. Cool, yeah, 26 and 46. That is enough. So yeah, of course, Dormammu can put big power on the board. But yeah, no, that is pretty good. Okay, cool. So yeah, Astral Projection and Lockjaw we can use to make our combo happen. But yeah, obviously we would love to see Invisible Woman. So it's a Thanos deck. Altar of Death, okay. I think we play Lockjaw now. I mean, it's a toss-up between what happens with Westview and what we get in this lane for is the Invisible Woman lane going to be valid for us to play into. But yeah, we have Lockjaw. We have Invisible Woman, that's perfect. What we really need, I mean, do we... The thing with playing Invisible Woman behind Lockjaw is that when we activate Lockjaw, it's still going to work because it will be the next cards from Invisible Woman. So we can still do this, and then it takes out Westview of being a location that screws us over somehow. And we still have the space for playing these cards. Space Throne's interesting. We have the Modok. Yeah, obviously what we can't do now is play Crossbones. So if we had played... no, if we had played Doctor on a different lane, we still wouldn't be able to play Crossbones anyway. So we don't mind keeping Crossbones in hand, that's fine. We don't always need to play our cards. We just need to draw them. So what we can do now is see what we get on turns 5 and 6. Obviously we're playing Modok on turn 5. Surge for them. Yeah, Thanos decks don't often run a lot of Cosmo in particular, unless it's the Strange Supreme version. What we are going to do here is play Modok. And then what can we draw on turn 6? Obviously, if it's Hela, that's great. If it's Crystal, we have the opportunity to draw a card and then play Astral Projection if that card drawn is Hela. So let's see what we can pull. It's Scar, so we do not have any of these cards at all. What we can do instead then is we are not going to play anything, and we are just going to activate the Lockjaw, because then Modok will discard all the cards and then go into our hand, into our deck, sorry, and we've got a 1 in 3 chance of hitting Hela. Yeah, let's see if we can do it. So we've only played 3 cards. So it's Modok.
You won't need this anymore.
Discards, and Lockjaw turns it into Death. Cool, okay. So it didn't work that time. Again, like I say, it's a 1 in 3 chance of it happening. But yeah, there's a chance. I will always play a game of Marvel Snap until the end if there's a chance of me winning. Unless I'm really looking to climb in ladder, I will always do it. That's why I really like this game. I like to see the outcomes, even if it doesn't always work. If there's a chance of something happening, I'll stick it out. But yeah, hopefully we'll get the next one. So we are playing someone called Yuck. That's a great name. Good for you. So we have Modok and we have Hela. That's great. We have Crystal as well, that we could potentially use to hopefully draw Invisible Woman. Attilan is going to mess us up. Man, that sucks. Ideally, we can draw the exact cards that we need. We're going to play Lockjaw anyway, because we might as well play Lockjaw. We can still use that for our combos later. Astral Projection, okay. I mean, yeah, let's play Crystal. I mean, it's... unless they turn off Attilan. Yeah, I mean, if Crystal draws Invisible Woman and then puts it back into our deck, I'll be fuming. It's Invisible Woman. Can we please have Invisible Woman back? Please. Please. No. Okay. We are going to play Crossbones. I mean, potentially... Oh, they filled it out before we did. I was going to say, potentially we can just keep playing. What have they got in their hand? So Mojo. So we can just leave Crossbones. We have pulled Hela, of course. That's fine. We can just leave this lane here because we're not gonna play anything here to fill and give Mojo power, and they still need to put cards in these other lanes to make Dazzler better. So we can just go straight into Scar. We don't need to activate Lockjaw or anything just yet.
Minions
They played Hela, okay. What deck is this? And so what we're going to do... So playing Hela gives us 18 power. There's only one card in the deck that has more power than that, and that is Red Skull. So we don't need to activate Lockjaw. We just straight up play Hela. And see if they can beat us. That's armor on the right lane. And Rogue in the middle lane, yeah, no problem. So we actually won without the combo. That's nice to see. Yeah, cool. We will take that. If that's our plan B, we go with it. Cool. Okay, cool. Crossbones, Gigantor, and Crystal in hand. Dark Dimension means we don't need Invisible Woman to be drawn. So that's good. So yeah, obviously we have Crystal as well that can start hopefully drawing cards. Great Web. Great Web only moves revealed cards. Right. Let's play Lockjaw, we might as well. Crystal next turn. What we can do... Because Hood is going to be middle unless they can get rid of it. So is Ebony more? I mean... We can play Ebony Maw here. That's okay. We can play Crystal next turn. So Hawkeye Kate Bishop is going to go mid. We get the Modok. Perfect. So we are going to play Crystal mid. Misery has got rid of a lot of their stuff. Okay. Astral Projection is a card. So yeah, it's still Modok here. What we can then do is if we don't see Hela. No, actually. Because in Ebony Maw we will reveal first. So this is what we need to do instead. Okay, we are going to play Modok middle to discard. If we then draw Hela, we can play Hela, or we can then Lockjaw to swap out the Ebony Maw for hopefully Hela. Let's see what we get. But yeah, we have to Modok into a different lane, because obviously Ebony Maw would then switch for Hela, and that would reveal before the Modok does. So that's one way to do it. We have drawn Hela, brilliant. Our other cards in deck are Invisible Woman or Red Skull. I don't really want to run the 50-50 of getting Invisible Woman instead of Ebony Maw. So yeah, we don't need to activate the Lockjaw, we can just do this. So we haven't won mid, so we've got to see if we have enough power in our left lane. They've got a lot of demons and stuff, right? So we might need a few cards to go left. It's only 2 power to beat right side. So yeah, we need big cards on the left. 19 power, that's pretty good.
Minions to me.
Come on. No, not you. 3 cards to go. No. Yep. Yeah, cool. So yeah, obviously Dark Dimension helped us out there because we didn't see the Invisible Woman. So yeah, that is another way to get this combo out, but obviously you can't rely on that location. But yes, that is nice. So I'm sure it's the inevitable slowdown that we're getting with my computer at the moment. Okay. Nothing we can play. Bifrost. We could give them an Ebony Maw if we really wanted to. I think we need to see what this third location is. Yeah, they haven't played anything either, which is very, very good. Oh, that's not good. It's more important that we draw. They're going to move, so if we do get Invisible Woman, we're going to have to play it into Eternal's Arc. We've only got 6 cards in hand. Yeah, we should have played the Ebony Maw. We have Lockjaw. Left. Red Wing's going to move and obviously pull a card for them, so that worked out nicely for them. What we can do is, if we don't see Hela, we can just play Lockjaw into Modok and see if we get the Hela. Hercules, they are moving stuff around. That's nice for them. Didn't actually get much power out of it, but there you go. So yeah, we have to play Modok now. We do this now because then. Wait, hang on. Activate the Lockjaw. We're going to play Modok left. Because then maybe we can still play something right, whether it's Death or Blinks. They are winning left lane now. So yeah, we couldn't have won left or mid anyway. So then we now need this to be Hela. It's Death. We are now winning. Astral Tower released. Can we draw Hela? We can draw Hela. Snap. Thanks very much. It's a boomer snap, I know, but they probably are thinking what's going on. I just know they're probably thinking he's drawn Hela. So yeah, we played Modok on 5. We discarded it with Lockjaw. They played Hulkling, which is just a Hulkling. Yeah, not a
Minions
problem.
to me.
Not a problem. That's a lot of power. Cool. Yeah, so obviously that was... We didn't have Hela, we played Lockjaw, and we swapped the Modok, which is discarded, but then we did that on turn 5 so that we still had the opportunity to draw Hela on turn 6. So yeah, cool.